All right, a lot of you guys have been asking for my settings in Delta Force. There's nothing too in particular that I use, or that is, I think, a must-have. And I haven't gone through all these settings in a while, but I am running super high-end 4090, 14900K, so very high-end specs and everything. I do like having this on. That was one thing I did switch right off the start of playing the game. That'll change when you aim down sight versus like toggling between your different optics. Doesn't go to your canted fire, which I don't personally prefer. If you just tap right click, then it goes to canted. That's how I have mine set. If I hold right click, it only goes to ADS. I also recommend auto sorting stash. Leave this on then you can set this in whatever order you want, whatever you're looking for with gear, but this is what I have. Mouse and key, I'm playing 800 DPI. My mouse sensitivity is 1.95. I did change this to set sensitivity per zoom plus MDV, which I don't even remember what that was, but all of mine are set to 1 anyway, so I don't think it's super important. Toggle at the start of ADS for the sensitivity transition. So as soon as I start clicking ADS, my sensitivity is already set to the decreased sensitivity of being aimed down sight in the first place. It's set off the 1.33 coefficient, which is pretty standard across a lot of the games that I play. I just try and match my sensitivity to all the other games that I play, basically, with a full kind of swipe of my mouse pad, or decent radius is a 360. Here's some of the other settings here if you want to see any of it. I don't think I even changed any of my sensitivity stuff there. Controls, though. I like having toggle crouch as C. I like left control for prone. You could individually bind, jump, and mantle. I haven't worried about it in this game. Sometimes I'll set mantle to scroll backwards, so that way I can just spam scroll backwards in order to do it. I haven't done it in this game yet. Hold for leaning. Walk, I've set to left alt. I'm not a big fan of this bind, because sometimes I alt tab when I'm streaming, and it's a little annoying, but I occasionally use it. I don't think it's super important. Run, though, I do have set that to toggle. ADS, tactical aim assist. Or tactical offset optic, rather. Just leave that on right click, sure. For a lot of people have switched their heals to 4 because they're more used to that. I don't know why, but it hasn't bothered me. Just leaving 4 as my gadget there. I set my fire mode all the way up to U, so I never accidentally press this button. It's killed me too many times in games. I almost never need to switch my gun to single fire, so I just leave it there. Switch optics, I changed this to scroll forwards and backwards. It's kind of a wasted bind because you can't do like you can't scroll like in PUBG optics and stuff, so really you only need one of them. If I scroll up twice, it'll switch between both of them twice. So yeah, I might rebind my backward scroll to something else. I haven't really needed it so far. Inspect weapon, I like that at end just so I can inspect while I'm moving. In this game, you can do that. Tactical gear V, I have it set for gadget 1, and this is my forward mouse button for my other one. So I'm never in the situation where I need to like throw a frag and I have to release on D. I want to be able to strafe and move wherever I want to when I'm going for a tactical ability, which is why I also have it set for V. I can hit that with my thumb, so I never need to take my fingers off ADS, whatever, WASD at all. Tactical gear for X as well. Welding gun, I mean, you don't really ever use that. I think you just hit F to interact with it as well. Parachute, this is more for the warfare mode, but doesn't really matter too much. Bipod, maybe J is normal. K might be normal for that too. I don't really use either of those. And if you are prone when you aim down sight with the bipod anyways, it'll just automatically deploy, so it doesn't matter for that. Screen interactions, I just use F. H, request rescue, nothing fancy here. Yeah, this is the med if you want to change that to 4 if you're more accustomed from like Warzone. Tab for the backpack. I also have my mark button. This is the pinging button as backwards on the mouse button. A lot of people just use middle mouse ping. That's usually the default in most games. I kind of got in the habit of doing this from Warzone where I want to be able to shoot and ping at the same time. And if I'm holding down left click, I can't push middle mouse at the same time, whereas I can use both of these and then hit my back thumb whenever I need to for the mark button. So that's why I leave that. Push to talk T is just how I usually do stuff. Mute all squad mates. Control them. Didn't even know that was a 1. Activate the flashlight. So this is a good one. I have it set for caps just because I don't use that for anything else. Certain flashlights, maybe it's all of them, they get 2 uses per raid, where it will do a strobing flashing effect that is super cool, and it will blind your teammates as well, which is kind of fun, but it'll blind the enemies. So if you ever need to push, it's only lasts for like 3 seconds, but hit that button, push a corner, and it's like a flashing. It will literally put like a blind spot on the middle of their screen like they got flashbang. It's really cool. It's a little secret feature there for you. Screen health, emote wheel, you know, nothing super important with any of that. Eliminations, other vehicle. I don't even think I've really driven any of the vehicles in this game, but you can see all my binds here. They should be all pretty default. I do have the performance indicators on. Show performance parameters. I don't know if this is like the telemetry stuff. Usually, I think this is all up in the top right, like your FPS and stuff like that, your ping. I like to just see that so I can see why I die and have another excuse instead of it being my fault. Show details on pickup tips. Maybe I should turn that off. I don't feel like I need tips at this point, but here we are. Close backpack pickup tabs when being attacked. That might be good to turn on even. I may mess around with that, but right now I leave it off just so I have full control and can turn it off if I need to. But that might be good to turn on. In fact, I'm going to turn it on. We'll try it. We'll try it out in this next one. In case I get shot, it just instantly pulls my menu down. If it actually works, that would be good. As long as I don't get shot and panic, hit the button to bring it back up. That's what can happen sometimes. Rotating perspectives. This is for the minimap for Warfare. I did try making this bigger. It doesn't actually make the map bigger. It just... like, the map is the same size, but the information that's within it is more. So it, like, zooms your map out more, but you kind of want it to be zoomed in so you can actually see what's going on around you. You know? Whites, Andy, Fear, also thank you guys for the subs. Mill, thank you as well for the stars. Taco, appreciate you, dude. But yeah, I haven't adjusted too much of that. Graphics-wise, now, again, I'm using a super high-end PC. I have never had any issues with this game, even on higher settings. I did turn them down to try and get some more frame rate out of the game, just to see how far I can push it, and I just never turned it back up. So this is what I'm running right now. I like borderless, personally, just because I alt-tab so often when I'm streaming. However, a lot of times people say you get more frames from going full screen on a lot of games. So you might want to try that out. Unlimited FPS, out of match 120, sure. My brightness is slightly skewed up. That's going to depend a bit on your monitor, though. Of course, you can see people pretty well from range. Usually you want VSync off. NVIDIA Fast Sync, I don't even know what this is. Maybe that would be worth using. It doesn't even give a description. If anybody thinks that's worth using, you tell me. Default FOV, max that thing out. You want that to be nice and wide for you. Field of view for scope magnifications. I actually prefer this to be off. This will match it. This should be... you know what? Now I kind of want to check it. But you want this to match your FOV when you're aimed down sight. Sometimes what I have done for field of view, I think there was a quick setting for changing this as well. And I would change it. Scope magnification adapts. I think this is what it is. No, this is what it is. Oh, okay. I misunderstood this at the beginning. I said this wrong. But if you made it this far, you'll see it. This is affecting the field of view of lower power scopes will adjust based on the FOV. So this will keep your FOV. It's like affected FOV in Warzone. So if you aim down sight and you have a wide FOV, it'll still keep your FOV wide. So sometimes what I'll do in game, if like there's somebody really far away and I only have a red dot, I'll toggle this off real quick and it'll zoom me in even further with a red dot, and then I can see further. This could be just a quick toggle that you can flip. You may want to utilize it. I don't know if you want to get that crazy. When enabled, scope effects will be more realistic. Yeah. This might actually do the parallaxing effect, which you wouldn't want anyways. You don't want anything to affect your field of view. So yeah, anyways, I have that off. You can see I leave textures high. I like the game to look good, but at the same time, reflections I turn low. I turn all these things low. When everything was on high, though, it still worked really good for me. So you may not necessarily need to turn it down, but this is what I'm running at least right now. All medium here, volumetric fog. Turned it low in hopes that it would be, less fog to show up. I could see more clearly. I am running NVIDIA DLSS balance. This is mostly what I do in games. I would turn it to performance if I really wanted to pull more frame rate, which maybe I'll try that as well. And then I do like low latency on. I have it enhanced. Usually it's called low latency or a low latency plus boost. I just turned it on enhanced. There is a whole science based on CPU timing and GPU timing and which one's delayed for whatever. You know, it's kind of I don't know if it matters that much per se. What else? Enable ray tracing off. If you have that on, a lot of times ray tracing can drop frame rate a lot. Same thing with like frame generation. If you ever see stuff like that, that can actually add input latency because the game's a bit behind trying to generate the frames and everything. That looks good. Audio. Now, this is kind of an interesting setting. I just have this set for headphones, and then there's this HRTF thing, which apparently is... So it says here, it upgrades your audio with enhanced the latest spatial audio technology, immersive sensation of 360-degree precise awareness. I don't know. I just turned it on. It seems fine to me. I turned music off, but this is one of my biggest pet peeves in the game is that it still plays music for some of the stuff that happens in-game when you're doing certain contracts and stuff. You cannot turn that off, unfortunately. But I have music off for that. All the rest of it's kind of high up, whatever. And that doesn't really matter. And then that's pretty much it. So those are the settings that I would recommend if you guys want to see my stash as well and where I'm currently at as I'm recording this. I have about 110 hours or so in the game. A lot of that, obviously, is just in the menus, as well as in a warfare mode. I have played quite a bit of that, played in a couple tournaments. That went pretty good. But you can see how the stash, every time I click on it, it automatically sorts. That's the feature that I like. And then you'll see this game's a little different because it has these different boxes here. So if you ever get a box for like storing stuff, it's not just in your main stash. You go and then you open the box and you got it. No. It goes into its separate tabs here. And then you can see like this is my gear one. This is my materials go into here. And it'll automatically put everything into the appropriate spot. And then if it's all the way full, it puts the rest of it into the stash, as you can see with like my medical items on top here. And the way to upgrade all of this and get more of those slots is through the black site. I do really recommend doing the black site. I love this thing. Crafting stuff is really good. You get a lot of efficiency out of crafting this stuff. So like, for example, if I wanted to craft this helmet, this would cost me... You can also... Another good tip, you can click source to figure out where stuff comes from all the time, as well as the usage. You can click and see what is this item used for. On any of the items, click usage. You can see how it's used for. It doesn't include everything, but it's pretty good. So anyways, the alloy, this would probably... I already have the materials, but I think this is about 140k. So it'd be 2 of them, because you get 4 of them at a time. It'd be about 60k plus 90. So this costs about 90k, maybe 100k, let's call it, to make an item that goes for 222k. So you save a lot of money by crafting it. And then this is my actual stash. So you can see, or my hideout.
What did you do about your settings resetting when you punish the game?
If your stuff is resetting... then it might be the actual file in your user file. That happened to me on Warzone, where that thing would lock and it would reset every time. I had 2 of the files, and so it was never saving when I did it. So you might need to go into your actual user settings and do it there. But make sure if you're ever upgrading this that you have all of these parameters filled first. Because one time I bought all the things that I needed here, but I didn't have this done. You can see the red arrow. So I thought, oh, I'm a high enough level, I can do it. But you can't. You have to make sure you have all of the things done. So that's increasing my reputation for something else with it. And then I'm crafting some ammo here, whatever. Yeah, I think that's pretty much that. Hopefully that helps you out. And if you have any other questions, stop by the stream.